Welcome to Mike Ferry TV. It's Mike Ferry. We are now really thinking about the fact that if we don't end this year strong, we're not going to have a good start to 2015. Think back to October when I said we have a 15-month business in front of us, 15-month business plan. We start planning in October to make October, November, December strong so we can have, of course, a wonderful January, February, good closings, good income. So we're not waiting till January to start. So here we are now in December, and I'm assuming that you're started, you're roaring, you're pumped up, you're enthused about what's going to happen this month, so next month is your best ever. To make that happen, one of the things we talked about last week was setting some goals, getting some idea what you want to accomplish, and hopefully one of those is production. So one of the questions that comes up a lot is the simple question is, Mike, okay, I don't want to have to know that I have to prospect, but I know I have to prospect. And of course, as you know, there are hundreds of seminars and workshops and retreats and papers being written on why you never have to prospect as long as you're alive. I have to ask, can you really identify any strong sales business of any type, any service, any product, where the salespeople don't prospect? And I know you can't because there aren't any. It is the nature of the business of selling. And when I say that, we have to understand that you and I are salespeople first, second, third, fourth, and fifth. That's what we are. Oh, now we say we're realtors and we're real estate agents and we're all the goobly gob that we say. But the truth is we're salespeople. If you don't believe it, I want you to go ahead and say to a seller, what do you think my job is? And they're going to say to sell my home. And that, of course, refers to the fact that you're a salesperson to get that sold. Salespeople prospect. So one of the questions is, how much prospecting do I have to do? Last week, I talked about a little formula regarding your cost of living and your outside income, etc. And this week, we'll talk about a very simple formula on determining how much prospecting you have to accomplish to make sure that you achieve the goal you set next year. I put this formula together probably 25 years ago. We have tens of thousands of great agents that use this little formula every year as they plan what they're going to do. So here's the formula I want you to write down. Realistically, honestly, write down how many transactions, sides, units, deals, whatever you want to call them, do you want to close in 2015? What is your number for 2015? And let's just say as a number, we say, I want to do 40 transactions in 2015, to which we go, great, 40 transactions. And that's, of course, an increase over 2014. I say, okay, now with that being said, I want you to think about, of those 40, how many of those transactions will come from your database? Repeat, referral, past clients, centers of influence, etc. How much will come from your database? And I want you to think about that. So let's say you think about that and you say, well, I think that I'm going to get about 50% or 20 from my database. Great. Do you have your database organized? Do you have your A and B clients? Do you have the ones that are going to give you business on a regular basis? Are you planning your 4 to 5 calls a year with your database? Have you got a little mail campaign 3 or 4 times a year to remind them, to work with you specifically? Have you got all that planned out to make sure you get that 50% or 20 deals from your database? Then I'm going to say, okay, now here's the catch. My goal is 40, 20 come from the database. That's pretty much in the bank. But now here's my question. How do you get the other 20? Where do they come from? Are you going to wait in the office for somebody to walk in? Are you going to sit in an open house and wait for somebody to walk in? Are you going to pass out pumpkins next October in your geographic farm, hoping somebody will give you a listing? What are you going to do to get them? Okay, I mean, you got to think about it. You're going to do mass mailings, put your picture on everything and get a bus bench that has your picture on it, so I hope you get a transaction. You got to think about this because technically your job now is to create 20 listings sold or buyer controlled sales. That's your job. So with that being said, here's the formula. The goal is 40. 20 are going to come to me anyhow, and therefore I have to create 20 transactions. That's your job, to create 20. Basically, you have to create 1.5 transactions per month. So our formula for you is this. You need to make 20 new contacts a day, 5 days a week during 2015. Well, who do you want me to talk to? Well, hold on. You got to make 20 contacts a day, 5 days a week. Basically, in this formula for this person, you have to make about, 100 contacts a week, 400 contacts a month. Well, what about my database? No, that's separate. These are 20 contacts a day, 5 days a week. Past clients? No. Centers of influence? No. Watch. Just listed, just sold, for sale by owners, expired listings, knocking on doors. What are you going to do to contact those 20 people? 20 contacts a day, 5 days a week. Because if you'll do it, you can almost guarantee the fact that you're going to go ahead and achieve the goal you set. Well, how much time does that take? Well, most people, you're going to make about 10 contacts per hour, whether it be at the door or on the phone, about 10 contacts per hour. Well, now, does email count as a contact? No. What about texting? No. Watch. You got to get clear. Salespeople communicate. Salespeople talk to people. I'm going to use this and this to get a person engaged in a conversation regarding real estate. That's my job. I have to talk to people. So I need to talk to 20 people a day about buying and selling real estate. And you have to decide the methods you're going to use. But remember, if you pick methods where you get no rejection, you get very little response. Pick methods with high rejection, you get a lot of response. So you're going to make about 10 contacts per hour, which means you're going to invest about 2 hours a day prospecting 5 days a week. Fast forward. Let's say your average commission check is $6,000 and you're going to do 40 transactions. 6 times 4, okay, 6,000 times 40, that's a lot of money. We're looking at a big paycheck for 2015. Now, do you think you can invest 2 hours a day to make that kind of money? Where else can you make that kind of money? Where else can you go with your skill set, your background, your experience? Who's going to employ you and pay you $250,000, $260,000, $280,000 a year to go out and do 40 transactions? Answer is nobody. So what you have to think about is this. The payoff is huge. The work involved is 2 hours a day of prospecting, is what we're asking of you. Now, I wrote down something interesting. I have to understand why prospecting is such a problem for me. Because the truth is, as you look at the new year, you got to get out this crazy theory that you can't prospect because you have to prospect. I wrote down, I don't prospect because I don't know what to say or don't know what to do. You can't deny that not knowing what to say and what to do doesn't get in the way. But you know what to say because you go to the scripts on Mike Ferry on our website, and you get all the scripts that you want. You know what to do because we keep telling you who to contact, what to say to them. Watch, I have poor work habits. Well, if you're watching Mike Ferry TV every week and you're still having poor work habits, you've got another problem going on up here that we probably can't solve. Watch, get a schedule, prospect 2 hours a day. No one holds me accountable. I hear this all the time. Find somebody in the office that has the desire like you to do better and say, let's work together. Hold me accountable. Watch, I can't handle rejection, acceptance, or embarrassment. We've talked about this for 6-7 years now on Mike Ferry TV. Watch, you're rejected every day, all day long by everybody that you know. Handling acceptance is the hard part. If you prospect 2 hours a day, 5 days a week, you're going to do 40 deals next year, and at $6,000, you're going to make $250,000 next year. You have to accept the fact that it's okay for you to succeed, and then, of course, embarrassment. I think the most important thing I can get across to you today is the commitment to being a salesperson. And salespeople prospect, and they have a plan on how they're going to do it. They're going to contact their past clients, their centers of influence, all the people in their database. They're going to be great in their lead follow-up when they generate leads. They're going to do just listed, just sold calls, contact by owners and expired listings. They're going to do all the things that have to be done to make their business work. And for you, it's 2 hours a day of prospecting. In this case, if your goal is 40, I think you can do it. No, let me erase that. I know you can do it. Let me erase that. You better do it if you want to achieve the goal you set. Talk to you next week.